What is going on, everybody? So in this video, we are going to talk about what makes a quality lead and how you can optimize your system towards speaking to a majority of the time what we call quality leads. Let me just preface this video by saying there is no scenario on planet Earth where 100% of the time every single person that you speak to is a quality lead. What we are doing is we're trying to optimize for a majority of the people who come through your process and through your pipeline to be of the quality that you want to speak with and that ultimately end up buying the product that you're offering, right? The first thing that we look towards in determining what makes somebody yes or no a quality lead would be their willingness to enter what's called your sales cycle. And the three areas that we see this in most prominently, where if we see these actions being taken, we know the willingness to enter is there. The first one is going to be manual bookings. So the way that we advertise, we give them the opportunity to actually speak with you. Not only that, we have nurture sequences that also prompt them to make manual bookings, right? So through either direct ads or through sequences in SMS or email, we are looking for the actions to be taken of I'm going to manually go in and schedule a time to speak with somebody, right? Not every lead is like that. So there's two other scenarios that we also look into where we believe that this shows itself that they have a strong willingness to enter. So the second one would be responsiveness to any type of email or SMS automation, right? Not only that, but even just the willingness to pick up the phone. You could also add that in there in terms of just general responsiveness. It's to automations, phone calls, really any type of outreach that you're trying to do to this lead. That responsiveness shows I at least have a willingness to enter the sales cycle that they're about to go through, right? So once you have them on the phone, or it could be via SMS or email, if they're then responding to the automations, responding to the calls, and then taking another action step further of scheduling a date and time to speak with you about your product, that would be obviously the ultimate willingness to enter the sales cycle because they're consciously deciding, hey, I'm going to sit down and most likely get a pitch at the end of this for this product that I'm inquiring about, right? So we look for those three things to show up. Typically, they're also going to show up in that order. The second thing that we look to line up is that they have a general grasp of the product. And in most cases, they've been actively building their knowledge base around your product, right? So a couple of the bullet points that I put down here allude to that. So they've previously researched it, right? So they've, in their free time, just to give you an example, in the insurance space, what we've cracked the code on is IUL life insurance, right? So these people that we speak to who are coming through our process, more often than not, I would say 60, 70% of the time, they are actively telling us back on our calls, I've been looking into this, I've been watching videos, I've seen some of your guys' content on this through the ads that you're running. I've gone on YouTube and I've studied building cash value. I've studied trusts. I've studied the whole 9 yards. So they're actively trying to gain a bigger knowledge base on your product and are, as a result of that, they're seeking this solution in their life. So they'll say something like along the lines of, I'm looking for a safer, more or an alternative place to put my funds. Whatever the case is, they are in the solution with you of, I already see your product as solving my problem because they've done the research, they grasp the product, and they know that they need it. The third thing that we look for here is that they actually want to, or they're looking forward to actually seeing, in our case, the product actually illustrated out front of them on a Zoom call, right? So those are the three things that kind of line up in terms of making it a quality lead from a knowledge base of actually understanding your product. The third thing that we look for in this situation would be low sales resistance, right? And then, there's going to be people who are, the kind of car salesman sales trainers of the world who want to shoot me for this one. But I don't think that if you are reaching your target audience through advertising, that there should be high sales resistance. You shouldn't even need to use sales tactics or high sales pressure when having a conversation with these people. And that alludes into my first point of hardly any pushback, right? I don't think that objections and objections training would be a staple for sales teams if the advertising and the marketing and the systems and the processes were dialed into a point where people who wanted your product or at least had general strong curiosity towards your product were opting in. During the sales call, and I can speak factually on this, over the past 8-9 months, we've had very, very little, if no objections to overcome at all. Where I would say 9.5 out of every 10 sales calls normally are the exact same call with a different person, where we bring them through our sales process on Zoom, and then they opt to buy and submit an application. And during the process, when you guys are having this conversation on Zoom with the client, that results in them asking buying questions. So they're looking to actively make this purchase through the questions that they're asking to sell themselves on why they need this. Now, how do you get a quality lead? How do we do that? That's solved through targeted advertising. Point blank period. That is the focal point of, if your advertising is not dialed in, that's where you need to start. How do you do that, and how have we done that, and what system do we install into life insurance agencies to provide that? Is targeting one product to sell through one channel with one target avatar. If all of that is scattered across 4 or 5 products, maybe you have a couple of different channels, you buy leads here, maybe you do a little bit of advertising here, you use this database to scrape leads, whatever the case is, that's several products over several channels, and you have several different avatars ranging from children all the way to 89-year-old adults, right? There's no possible universe in which you can get data to even determine if a lead is quality without some type of quality control on where you're getting your lead source from. So by narrowing it down to one product that you're selling, which we've done, one channel that you're getting your leads from, which we've mastered, and one avatar that we're targeting, which we've also mastered, that allows you to then have a control system where you can actually assess, are my leads quality or not, because they're being sold the same thing through the same vehicle, and they're all similar types of people of similar socioeconomic status. What I want you guys to do is then ask yourself, if you're using other acquisition models, what does your day typically look like? Are you seeing a lot of objection? Do you have high sales resistance? Right? Are people that you're talking to of all ages and different walks of life, they're all trying to solve different needs? What we've come to realize is that, your day should look very similar, in which you can actually track data and speak to people who are looking to solve similar problems, where you have a similar sales process. And as an agency owner, if you're running an agency, how much easier would your life be if you knew that every agent underneath you was on the same sales process, right? You would know what works, and you would know what doesn't work, and you'd have one singular vehicle to track data from, to make sure that your team is on the same page. So with that being said, I encourage you guys to just ask yourself, what does your day look like? And if it doesn't look like this, I would recommend reaching out to us at adsystems.io to have at least some type of consultation call, so we can get you on the right track to your day looking more systematized, where you're speaking with quality leads.